Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Andrea, and today I am so excited to be sharing a brand new Cricut Labels video with you. 2 years ago, I shared a video on my channel making labels for my pantry and spice jars with my Cricut. And today I have a brand new updated version, this time using Smart Label vinyl and Cricut pens. This is going to be super beginner friendly. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know so you can get your spice jars and pantry organized for the new year. So let's get started. This is the current state of my spice drawer. As you can see, I cannot tell what anything is. These are the labels I made in my previous spice jar label video, and I love them. They have lasted so well the last 2 years, but they're just not practical for this space because when I open the drawer, I can't tell what anything is, and it's so hard to find what I'm looking for. So in this video, I'm going to be making brand new spice jar labels, this time for the lids of my spice jars. I'm opening up Cricut Design Space, then clicking on Shapes and adding in a circle. I'm changing the size to 4.2 centimeters and changing this to white. I'm duplicating the circle and making the second circle smaller so it fits inside of the first one. The outer circle is going to be a sticker that gets cut out, and then the inner circle is going to be drawn with a pen. So I'm going over to Operation and changing it to Pen. This is going to tell my Cricut to use a pen to draw a ring. Now I'm adding in text, and I filtered for free writing fonts. For my first label, I'm writing out the word cinnamon, and I'm adjusting the size so it fits inside of the circle. Under the style toolbar, I'm changing it to writing. And I'm moving it over to the side because I'm not a big fan of how that font is looking. So I'm going to select a couple of different ones and see which one I like the best. I'm going to go with Telegram Text. I'm selecting the word and the circle, clicking on Align and Center. Now I'm going to Shapes and adding a line and rotating it 90 degrees, then changing the operation to Pen because I want the Cricut to draw this line instead of cutting it or scoring it. I'm adjusting the size, then duplicating it and adding another line above the word. Now I'm selecting each of the lines individually along with the circle and clicking on Align and Center horizontally. Then I'm selecting everything and clicking on Attach. Continuing on, I'm duplicating this design for my next spice jar label, and I'm changing the text to say onion powder. I did the two words in two separate text boxes, so I made sure to attach those together and then center them with the circle. My next label is for Italian seasoning, and since seasoning is a longer word, I have to shrink down the text a little bit to fit inside the circle. And now I'm continuing on making the rest of my spice jar labels. Make sure the elements of each individual label are all attached together. I did a test cut, which I always highly recommend doing, and I found the letters were a little bit too close together once the pen drew them out. So I'm going in and adjusting the letter spacing and changing it to 0.5. And I'm going through and doing this for all of my labels. Along with the spice jars from Dollarama that I'm using for a lot of these, I'm also using the jars that some of the spices came in, and those lids are different sizes. So for example, for this next spice, I duplicated the chili powder design, then pressed detach, and I'm changing the size of the outer circle to 5 centimeters. Then I'm adjusting the inner circle to be a little bit smaller than that. And I'm clicking on both circles, then Align and Center. Now I'm changing my text to say steak seasoning. I'm attaching these two words together and aligning them to the center. And now I'm changing the positioning of my two lines and making them a little bit longer since my circle is bigger. And then I'm aligning them to center horizontally with the circle. Then I need to select everything for this design and click Attach. And I'm continuing this process for all the different spice jar sizes I have. Once all my labels are complete, I'm clicking on Make It. I'm selecting vinyl as my material. And you can see it's telling me to load a pen into clamp A and a blade into clamp B. For this project, I'm using Smart Label by Cricut, which is permanent writable vinyl. Now, Smart Vinyl can be used with the Maker 3 and the Explore 3 without a cutting mat, but it can also be used for the Explore Air 2 and the original Maker, which is what I'm using. The only difference is you have to use a mat. As you can see, this vinyl has a border on either side where the vinyl doesn't go all the way to the edge. So if you're using a cutting mat like I am, just make sure that when you're pressing it onto the mat, you're lining up the vinyl edge with the edge of the mat. I'm loading in my Cricut Pen into clamp A, and once the mat is loaded into the machine, I'm pressing on the flashing Cricut button. Now you can see the pen moving along, going up and down, drawing all of our spice jar labels. I cut these out in a couple different batches actually, and for some reason this first one didn't work perfectly well. The ink is a little bit faded in some areas, but to fix this, before unloading the mat or anything, once the project was finished, I pressed on the Cricut button again, and this restarted the process, so the pen went back over all of the designs and did a second layer. You want to make sure if you're doing this to not unload the mat or change anything. Just press that Cricut button again and it'll go over it the exact same way. Since I didn't need this to cut out the stickers again, once the pen was finished doing what it needed to do, I pressed the pause button and then unloaded the mat. And you can see it looks a lot better now. One thing you want to make sure to do, which I did not do the first time, is allow the ink to dry before peeling off the stickers. I had a couple of mine smudge a tiny bit, and then after that I let it sit and made sure it was all dry, and then it was good to go. What I love about this Smart Label vinyl is you don't use any transfer tape. You just peel it right off the sheet, just like a sticker, and then stick it straight onto the spice jar. It is so easy, no tedious waiting. I love it. You can see here, this is what my original spice jar labels looked like, which again, I think still look really nice. But if you have a spice drawer like I do, where you can only see the tops of your jars, then these labels are such a great idea. I love how they look. And of course, you could also make these for the front of the jars as well, if that worked better for your spice cupboard situation, but you still like the look of the Smart Labels using the Cricut Pen. Here you can see I'm peeling off the labels and sticking them onto these plastic spice jars, just the ones that a lot of these spices come in from the store. You can still add your own customized labels to them to make the drawer look a little bit more cohesive, but you don't have to buy all new spice jars. The nice thing about making your own labels with this Smart Label vinyl is you can customize the size, because all of these jars are different sizes. And now all of these labels look like they belong. This Smart Label vinyl is so fun. Not having to weed all of these tiny little letters is such a game changer. Here's what my spice cupboard looks like now with all of the new labels. It is so much more functional. I can actually see what I'm looking for and find everything so easily. Plus, I just love how these labels look so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time.